Good morning. I hope your coffee is warm. Welcome to the top 10 most popular commanders for November. We're starting with the best one, as always. This is actually my third time doing this, so I'm really excited. We're gonna start with number 1, which you already can see on the screen. It's Azula. She's new, and she's from Avatar. She's amazing. We've had the new Avatar set. I used to be a huge fan when I was younger. I think I was in primary school when this was on. I was a huge fan. I was a Katara girly. I really wanted to be a waterbender. I used to do water polo. And me and my cousin always used to act like we were waterbenders. And Katara was like an idol, but I also thought Azula was amazing. She's just really cool. Modern day girl boss. She's kind of seen as the prodigy for the Fire Lord, the Overlord, and she values power and control. And the lore from the series might be her primary reason for being so popular. Aside from, let's be 100% honest, I think everyone had a crush on Azula back in the day. So then the abilities. She's a 4-mana 4/4 human noble, because she's the daughter of the Fire Lord. And she has Firebending too. You can create 2 red mana whenever she attacks, which is really nice for 4 mana, I think. And whenever you cast a spell while Fire Lord Azula is attacking, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Oh, and the quote, I didn't even see that. I'm sorry it has to end this way, brother. Oh, that's really cool. All right, a well-deserved number 1, if you ask me. Let's go to number 2. It's another Avatar card. It's Toph, the first Metalbender. It's a 4-mana 3/3, so not a 4/4 this time. A human warrior ally with non-token artifacts you control are lands in addition to their other types. They don't gain the ability to tap for mana, and they work really well with land synergies. I see in my notes here, like landfall. So whenever a land enters, you get something. And you earthbend at each step. So you turn a land into a 2/2, and the land will be returned to the battlefield after it's removed. I thought she was like a great ally. I was just so excited about this set. There's this combo that with the Stasis Coffin. I hope I said it correctly. It's a 3-mana artifact. And for 2 mana and tapping it, you can exile it and gain protection from everything until your next turn. Toph turns the coffin into a land. And at the end of your turn, you earthbend the Stasis Coffin. You turn it into a creature. Then you sacrifice the coffin, giving you protection from everything. So you prevent all damage done to you and can't be hit by any spells. And when an earthbended land is exiled, you get to return it to the battlefield tapped. Next of your turns, you use the coffin again. So this is an amazing mechanic, I think. Credits, not to me, to my boyfriend. Daniel, thanks. Okay, let's go to number 3 then. It's another Avatar. It's the Avatar. So this is actually the 3rd out of 5 Avatar cards. And I think this already kind of tells you that the Avatar set is immensely popular. So for Aang, you probably already know him because he's the Avatar from the series. He's an air nomad. He was raised by monks. And at 12 years old, he became Avatar. But as you learn throughout the series, there was quite a lot of responsibility, which is why he kind of fled from the monks in the monastery. And in a storm, his avatar state was triggered and he froze himself for 100 years. And then now we're here. And on this card, he has mastered the last element, fire. So you can see all the different elements. So you see the fire, like I said, but you also see water, earth, and of course air, being an air nomad. Firebending for 2, which is also with Azula, if I remember correctly. So you get 2 red mana when Aang attacks, and whenever you bend an element, so either earth, air, water, or fire, you draw a card. And when you bend each element in a turn, so earth, air, water, and fire, you can transform, which leads you to Aang, Master of Elements, which is even cooler. So this is going to be, instead of a 4/4, he's going to be a 6/6. And he will make spells you cast any color of mana cheaper. Aang with red green, white, and blue would be free. But Toph, who costs 1 generic mana, red, green, and white, will still cost 1 generic mana. But still, that's a lot cheaper, you know? It's a 3 mana discount, which is really nice. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you can transform Aang back. Then you gain 4 life, draw 4 cards, put 4 counters on him, and deal 4 damage to each opponent. And this shows him using all 4 elements in 4 abilities with a 4 in them. So I'm thinking, which ability from that mechanic is connected to which one? I think drawing cards would be air, maybe. 4 counters would be earth. 4 damage would be fire, I think. And then gaining 4 life maybe would be air? No, water. Yeah, I'm curious. If you agree, let me know. If you don't, let me know as well. So next up, it's another one for the 7th time. Azula, the Knight's Blessed. From Final Fantasy XIV. Again, if you haven't watched last time, I'm going to give you a little bit of a recap. She's known for her magical talent and researching capabilities. She left her home, which is the Charlatan colony, a very isolated academic state, to be an apprentice and learn magic skills. She became a rebel in the circle of knowing here. So 12 scholars from Charlea who defied her nation's rule against interfering. She's repeatedly defied death through dangerous magical powers and used a dangerous teleportation spell called Flow to save a warrior of light from an ambush. And this did blind her. Oh, I never knew. But she now sees the mana flows of the world, which is a really cool ability. So because this is the 7th time that Azula has been in the top 10, we have some alternate lore which we thought of. So she could have stayed in the Charlatan colony, which she would have stayed a strict mage and stayed with theories instead of ever putting magic to practice. I think she would have remained her eyesight then, but again, I think the whole magic thing is really cool as well. And for another alternative ending, she could have been trapped in the magic world after using the flow spell. She could have later been saved by her sister, Umitra. Other Skyans would have had to fill the role of magical expert. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with the ending that we got, I have to say. Oh, so next up, another avatar, 4 out of 5, Iroh. He's very loved, and I agree with the people who love him because he is really cool. He's a 6 mana, 5/5 human noble ally with firebending 2 as well, which again creates 2 red mana when attacking, and it gives all instants and sorceries flashback, so you can play them once more after being in the graveyard and then after they are exiled. And lessons will only cost 1 mana instead of its full cost. And we're going to go to an example of a lesson in a little bit, because I would still like to focus on Iroh. Very loved, like I said, and definitely once he gets to his powerful state as leader of the Grand Lotus. And the Order of the White Lotus was a group of Pai Sho players, so think like chess or something. And he joined them after his son died for the Fire Nation, and only after a long spiritual journey. And now he aids the Avatar and liberates Ba Xing Se from the Fire Nation's control. And what I also really like is that he loves tea, just like me. I just wonder how he drinks his tea. I would really like to know. If I ever get a meet and greet with Iroh, I would ask him that, like, what would the perfect tea exist of? I just told you a little bit about the lessons, which I'm going to get into now, because with this card of Iroh, the Grand Lotus, lessons will only cost 1 mana instead of its full cost. So here's an example. Elemental Summoning, which is actually 5 mana, but with Iroh it would only be 1. So this one has create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token for only 1 mana. That's a steal. They're often less strong, but they're really nice. And Wise Iroh makes lessons easier to learn and useful as well. So maybe like a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token for 5 mana would be a bit expensive, but for 1 mana, not that bad. On number 6, and I think the last avatar card for this edition of the top 10 is Zuko. Yeah, he is indeed the last avatar card and one of the characters with the most obvious character growth. He was born as a prince, and unlike his sister, his father hated Zuko for his ideals. So he got a scar from his father when he spoke out of turn, and now he's looking for Aang on a redemption arc, where he actually wanted to make his father proud by first capturing Aang and delivering him to his father. But the real arc was when he became the anti-hero and later just an actual hero. So his abilities, he has Firebending X, so he creates X red mana equal to his power. So this is really nice if you have like a counter deck. And so it grows your team with the counter whenever you cast a spell from exile and whenever a permanent enters from exile as well. Making Zuko the perfect Mardu commander. He works with From Exile, which is a red's way to draw cards. He creates mana through combat and he grows your tiny dudes. So look at it as your tiny little Fire Nation army, which is actually fighting for good. I would actually, maybe it's not strategic or necessarily strong in any way, but how nice would this be to combine this with Bloomburrow and just give him some mice, you know? Zuko with a little army of tiny mice. I think that would be fun. And with all the counters you could put on them, you could actually get some pretty big mice. I like that idea. It's my own idea, I'm sorry, but I still like it. So next up is Hearthhull. This is actually the 4th time that Hearthhull is in the top 10. It's lost 4 places, but of course it had to make some space for all the Avatar characters and cards that entered the top 10. We have a Dungeons and Dragons character, and D&D is also getting pretty popular again, I think, since when you're watching this, the last season of Stranger Things has probably been uploaded. I'm filming this on Wednesday, so the day before Stranger Things is released, and I'm so excited. So I'm also really curious to see this character. So in D&D, Hearthhull would be, he's not going to be in Stranger Things, I don't think, but since Stranger Things is all about D&D and with Vecna's curse and everything, Vecna's eye, Vecna's hand, I think that's going to be some really interesting conspiracy theories as well. So Hearthhull would be a location to play your campaign in. It's a conscious living spacecraft, a Eumidian, if you will, and its goal is Terra symbiosis, so becoming an ecosystem with a planet. So it tries to transform species on a planet to be more thriving and biodiverse. So if you play either as a Eumidian or as a member of the planet, the Hearthhull would try to transform. You're playing a campaign constantly being altered by the Hearthhull and the Eumidians, where the other side is trying to keep their planet unique and their own. Hearthhull, isn't really. It might be a very philosophical campaign, but I think it would be quite interesting. Next up, Isshin, 2 heavens as 1. It's a new one, and it's not from Avatar. I might be sounding like a freaking noob over here, but I don't know this guy. He's actually in the top 10 for the first time, which is really nice. And we're thinking that maybe Isshin got more popular because of Zuko and the other firebending cards. He doubles triggered abilities caused by attacking, like firebending. And it's also great for Mardu, but in a very, a very basic yet beginner-friendly way. And Isshin gets a very special shout out because he's also the only non-Avatar new card in the top 10, which, applause. Very well done, Isshin. The Human Samurai, I think it would go really well with a firebending deck as well, even though I think my mice concept is still a good one. Then, for the 5th time in the top 10, on number 9 this time, he's lost 4 places. Teval, the balanced scale spirit dragon. And because he's in the top 10 for the 5th time, we have a weapon design. So Teval is a spirit dragon for the Sultai, the Tarkir clan. But the Sultai are a clan all about scheming and power, and kind of like the Lannisters in a way, maybe, in Game of Thrones. But Teval stands above them as their judge. She also controls life and death and is a very pragmatic judge. She will always choose the many over the few. So perfect for a power-hungry clan to kind of keep them humbled. So for this, we have this weapon. So her weapon is a very balanced one. A throwing weapon from India. I believe it's called a chakram, and it holds ghostly scaled power and clean orderly power. And that's 2 sides of a coin for Teval. She will always have ghostly power whether she chooses life or death, and I think it's pretty cool. I like the colors. I think the right side, of course, is life. The right side is the left side is death. I think, what would happen if you were to throw this like a frisbee? Now I would want to see that. I would be really curious. You can throw it straight forward like a kind of a spare, which might be a little less convenient. I think if you were to throw this like a frisbee, maybe if she, you know, would grab it with her tail, frisbee, throw it to the enemy. I don't know what would happen. We have to find out. And then last but not least, for the 5th time, Miss Bumbleflower. I love her. And her carrot cake, I believe. Okay, so Miss Bumbleflower is here to stay, it seems, which I greatly approve of. She's the top 19 most popular when we're talking about the last 2 years, which is a really good one. Of course, as you probably know, she's an innkeeper whose mother was a pirate. So she has a really cool background story as well. And she loves to make food for others and seems very flowy, very natural. And she's also really respected, kind of like the maybe the cool aunt in a little village, you know, and everyone goes to her for advice and, you know, to kind of have a personal cheerleader, but also someone who kind of motivates you, like a coach, a life coach. And of course, it's her 5th time in the top 10, which is why she also has a weapon, but it's not really a weapon, for Miss Bumbleflower, because if we're gonna give her like a frisbee spear thing, I don't know, that wouldn't be her vibe. And I don't think anyone would disagree with that. We really have to lean into the cuteness for this one. And don't forget that in Bloomburrow, nature is really respected more than anything. So a druid staff might look very cute to us, but it really isn't on Bloomburrow. I like this. She deserves it. I really like that. Personally, maybe I would have gone with maybe on the bottom something like a carrot, maybe, because she has really nice carrot cake. But anywho, this was the top 10 for this month, November. Thank you so much for watching. Also, please check if you're subscribed or not, because last couple of times I kind of said like, hey, if you haven't been subscribed, there's only like 3% who haven't subscribed. Please do. 3% who have subscribed. I'm so sorry. So that means like 97% isn't subscribed. And after I said that, people actually started to subscribe. So how cool would it be if we can raise that percentage? I think it's at 4% who is subscribed right now. If we can get it to 5, how cool would that be, honestly? So thank you so much. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Maybe hype it if you have premium. And if you have any suggestions or hopes for next month, because we're going to be headed to Christmas. Next time you're going to be seeing this, it's been Christmas. Merry Christmas. And maybe Happy Thanksgiving if you're celebrating. And anyways, have a great day, week, Stranger Things binge, Avatar binge. I don't know. Have a good